G'day folks, just a quick one today. Just wanted to talk a little bit about mind control. Now, people have a very comic book idea about how modern mind control techniques work. It's not psychic driving or hypnosis. You don't go into a trance. What it is now is just subtle pre-prescribed behaviors and a mode of living where you feel like if you don't prescribe to these modes of behaviors, you'll be tagged as undesirable. And they have figured out how to make this impulse, which is a very deep human impulse. It goes right back to our pre-human status as pack animals. The need to be included can override logic and reason very, very easily. One great example I came up with while these dynamics played out over yet another family dinner is the word cooker. Now, I've had blue-collar jobs as often as I've had white-collar jobs. I've never heard Australians use the word fucking cooker. Maybe one or two in 20 years. But the way that became attached in the wake of the vaccine hesitancy and social division around that, to be an instant pre-prescribed shutdown for someone who had facts that differed from yours. Now, if you believe your side of the story, you should be willing to hear the other person out, refute their claims, and defend your position. But this pre-prescribed shutdown system of, if you entertain this line of thinking, you'll be out the tribe and exile, is a technique that was developed to perfection in Eastern Germany under the Stasi. And now through social media, manipulation through fact-checking organizations that are owned by the people they're supposed to be fact-checking, what do you call them? Groups like the CDC, the FDA, the TGA, all being funded by the people who they're supposed to be monitoring. It's a complex system that just is shutting down debate, even when the truth is so obvious. And it's kind of sad that when you can even slightly show some of these people the error in their thinking, and they can see that in fact you are correct and that they are wrong in their perception, the fear of becoming out-group like me overrides all logic and reason, and they get emotional and aggressive. And that's the end of the debate. So yeah, it's not some subtle signal coming out of the TV. It's carefully planned social conditioning, buzzwords, and pre-prescribed responses that you don't think through. You just say to shut down the conversation. You couldn't actually back your position if you were forced to. So maybe when you catch this happening to you, try and force yourself to listen to the thing you don't want to hear. And if it's happening to you, you can point it out. You can point it out. I mean, particularly if you're presenting some kind of evidence on one topic and all of a sudden you're being accused of being a Trump supporter and a climate denier. That's this stuff. Because the subjects aren't linked in your mind. They're linked in the mind of the other person because they've been pre-prescribed that link. Like a warning label. Like a bright-coloured stripe on a poisonous frog. Stay away from this thinking. But then you've got to ask yourself, why? Who and why? Well, it's the same people who locked up Julian Assange. It's the same people who make sure Penny Wong's response on that subject is so fucking pathetic and lukewarm. It's the reason why Albo is just as bad for your health as John Howard was. I mean, look at what they're doing. We're going to have digital ID and CBDC in this country within the year. Now, imagine all these people who support Albo. If they're in your circle, just say to them, would you have been comfortable with John Howard having this level of a peek into your pocket and an eyeball in your house and controlling what you think and say? You wouldn't. Well, unless we're giving up the pretense that this is a democracy, perhaps we shouldn't give that power to the government of the day, because we don't know what the government of the future might do with the same infrastructure. Check out Rukshan's in case you missed it, if you want a bit more of a rundown on that sort of side of things. He ran down the 4 or 5 issues on that subject that are big this week. Anyway, I've got more shoveling to do. Peace, love, and kung fu. Like, share, subscribe. Share, most of all. Nobody's talking about this stuff. Get it out there. I'm happy to take the slings and arrows. I've been regarded as a laughingstock for holding expensive positions for quite a while. It doesn't bother me. But yeah, time's running out. They're going to build an invisible prison in this country, and nobody cares. Talk to you soon.